welcome to everyone to our TGIF blab. And I have to say for myself, thank God it is Friday. This has really been a week. It really has been a week. Lots of ups and downs. And so what we want to do with this blab, we're hoping to do them weekly and talk to you guys about the week that was, tips for coping, what worked, what didn't, what sucked, what was great, and hopefully offer a little bit of insight, support, and have you share your tips for having a great week. So Tracy, maybe I'll start with you and then I'll probably X you out because I know Sean's going to try to get in. But so Tracy, how was your week?
Actually, it was good. It was smooth. I really liked Karina's tips on mindfully getting back to routine.
Yeah,
that was really helpful.
Yeah, and that was the focus this week, right? So, Karina, you did a great blog post this week, and we'll put the link in the sidebar so you guys can follow it. All three of you actually have kids that started back to school this week, so that's part of why we knew this was a great week. So, Karina and Lori both are social chicks and have their own businesses, have kids at home still in school. Tracy, you too, an aromatherapist and an art journaling instructor. Really powerful work you do. But Karina, so tell us about the mindful tips. How did those play out this week?
Well, of course, doing work with you, Vicki, I knew that stuff was going to come up, right? When you write something like that. So,
there's a big giveaway. Yeah. Be careful what you ask for, right?
Yeah. So it did play out. Like I actually had to go and use those tips. So I was really grateful that I had written it at the beginning of the week because there was moments where it was just like, what the heck is going on? And I would just have to separate, ground myself, take a moment to breathe, maybe do a little writing. And then I was like, it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah, and I just want to check in with our people on the side, like just, either pop into the chat with it or, use they call it the props, these little hands you see at the bottom of your screen. If you had to me, this was just a really chaotic week. Did anybody else have a super chaotic week this week? Yeah.
Yes.
We're getting a few. Yes. Yeah. So just, I think it's part of that getting back to school. And then that's when it's even more, Vivica's like, it's even more so when you're having a chaotic week to try to focus and find that time, right? So Lori, let's check in with you. What was it like for you this week?
Well, I don't know. We call this thriving or surviving. And I think I'm just surviving. Almost feel like drowning a little bit too. It has been a chaotic week.
Yeah.
I had these great plans in place and my to-do list, and they're just totally at the door. My Tuesday to-do list is still my Friday to-do list. So that's okay. That's okay when things happen. Yes.
Yeah.
And
so what works? I'm just curious from you guys, from all three of you, if you could maybe just chime in and then I'll do some changing up maybe some of the guests. But so what works for you when you're feeling like you're just surviving or just treading water and not really feeling like you're thriving in your work? What helps?
Wow. I do have some great support people in my life, so that's good. And I can reach out to them and they bring some normalcy to my life. So that's pretty awesome to have that. Yeah, that works for me.
Just the reaching out. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to remind myself to not be so hard on myself, right? Because I start the week with these grandiose ideas about how many things I'm going to get done. And halfway through the week, it's starting to feel really stressful. And by Friday, I'm just like, okay, you know what? That's all right. We can make this happen. And just really break down the projects.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like chunking it out. Yeah. And I noticed that in myself this week too. I know you guys know a little bit. I had a little bit of bad news this week and I just, it really rocked me, that personal news. And I just, the very first thing I did, I just decided to reach out. And that was just such a good thing to do, and both to a business advisor and to a trusted friend as well. And then I also realized, like for me, the way I do cope, because we sort of talked about thriving and surviving and then how do you cope, is that, I just got down to business. I just felt like I've got things I need to look after. It's almost like when something happens that's out of our control, you want to kind of almost like control the controllables. What are the problems I can solve because I can't solve this other big issue? And so, I was just really noticing myself getting my head down and just wanting, you guys probably notice it because you're getting emails from me. It's like, I just want to let me get down to business, something I can manage. But having that support and then also knowing that there's trusted people to go to. Yeah. So, Tracy, what about you?
Making lists.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just like there's a million things to do and how am I going to fit this in? And then you write it all down and it actually is doable. or you can prioritize it that, no, I can't do all of this.
Yeah.
And I think going back to what Lori said about just cutting ourselves some slack and realizing that we're doing the best we can, and that all of these grand ideas maybe are doable, but maybe we need to be a little bit more realistic and be okay with that.
That self-acknowledgement piece. Yeah, doing the best we can. So Tracy, thanks so much. I'm just going to X you out now. If you feel like coming back and let me know, because I will bring in another guest. Meantime, we'll go over to Karina. Karina,
hello.
So for you, what's your tip of the day, tip of the week?
You know, I was thinking about it while the other two were talking. I thought, okay, so I've got 3 kids. So there's not a lot of control you can have with that, right? It could just be this one's doing this one doing that. And so I thought, Sean, what has worked? Oh, Sean. Yeah, maybe we can hear him this time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just make this up as I go along.
And look, we're all matchy with our headsets.
That's good.
I'm faking it.
This is Sean's just referring to a little previous chatter that we had when we were getting into the room about, we couldn't quite hear him, and we thought perhaps he was like playing a trick on me because I get a little freaked out about the sound, what's happening with the sound. No. Yeah. So Karina was just sharing with us, Sean, just about, having 3 kids. I was sort of saying sometimes when things go wacky in your week, if you can just control the controllables, like get in and do what you can do and try not to worry so much about what you can't handle, what you can't do anything about, that with 3 kids, it's kind of hard a lot of the times to really have any sense of control. The good kind of control we're talking about here. So say a little more about that, Karina, and then Sean, I know you've got kids too, and maybe you could give us the dad's point of view.
Yeah, so basically I have 2 sort of opposite tips that I like to follow. One is boundaries. I have to be very strong with boundaries. So if I need to get this 5 hours of work done, it's, okay, you guys, I have to do 5 hours of work. And they know I'm not a good multitasker. I can't even answer a question if I'm sitting at the computer. They think women are great multitaskers. I'm not. I have to sit there and do what I need to do. And I can't answer your question about, are we having broccoli for dinner? Because I just can't even respond to you right now. So
the answer is always yes to that question anyway.
So
yes,
I set boundaries with my husband too, because he works at home too. So we have to be pretty good with each other. Like, don't come ask me about your personal questions when I'm working. And then the other part of that is playtime. Like, I'm really, really big on playtime, jumping on the trampoline, playing a game of crib with my husband or the kids, or going out for a fun walk. I have to balance it with that extreme playtime.
Yes, good. And that's the thing, like all work and no play is not good for us. It's not good for our kids, and it's really not good modeling. And something I love about both you and Lori, when you guys are, blogging or talking about your experience as businesswomen with kids, is you talk a lot about, like, what are you modeling? What is it that we're doing in our lives that we're leaving as a legacy for our kids? And so that, like, I love the power of play. And I happen to have had some playtime with you, Karina, and I know it's pretty great.
It's pretty fun. And I have to say that Jenny just said something, and I think it's important to point out. She said boundaries for clients are important too. Yeah. And what I found is that I got into this habit of taking my phone to bed, which I'm writing an article about, and responding to clients' questions at 11:30 at night. Like as though it's an emergency. It's not an emergency.
Yeah. And so what are you teaching your clients, right? About
That's right.
you. Yeah. What are you teaching them about you if you're doing that, right? That it's okay to communicate, right? It's at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
So thanks, Karina. And so Sean, what about? Let's hear from the dad's point of view. How was your week? What's your best tip? Did you survive, or were you thriving this week, or just surviving?
Well, let's go back in time to 2 weeks ago, when a week before we start school, my wife has a gallbladder attack.
Right.
And we spent a week in the hospital, only to find out
Deirdre.
we can't take the gallbladder out. It still has to stay in. So my wife's in bed. She can't get out of bed this week. She's only just starting to right now. So I'm a single dad for until such time as she can join the team. And fortunately, I've got a couple of kids that are fairly decent 90% of the time.
Is this like high praise in your household, or what?
Fairly decent. there's the post-summer change that they're going through. It's like, okay, I can't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and play video games and not get in trouble for it. So where we are right now is my oldest boy is very much looking after himself. He's turning 14 this year. And so he's very much into looking after himself, which is great. Save for maybe the whole, let's make a blender shake at 6:30 in the morning.
Right. So
That's
fun.
not a way you want to wake up. Very quiet up to that point, but just never put the two together. And the youngest one is now taking to riding his bike to school so that dad doesn't have to drive him to school, which is great for a 9-year-old boy. But there's chaos because I'm doing all the day work, and right now the client that I'm working with is nights. So I'm working from basically 5, 6 o'clock until maybe 1 o'clock in the morning because of where they are. And wow, that makes for 4 to 5 hours worth of sleep all week long.
Yeah.
The fact that my 14-year-old is still breathing after the blender incident is something to be said for calm and cool reactions. But it gives you a real appreciation of it's like to be a single parent. Like you never really appreciate your spouse until your spouse isn't there to help out. And really putting the onus on the kids, if they're old enough to take responsibility, to take that responsibility. And they shine. They absolutely shine. The boundaries were set for the summer, and they've taken the school boundaries and enhanced that assistance, and it's just made a world of difference for me anyway.
Yeah. So it's almost like enlisting the family as allies. And this is something I think all 4 of us are home-based businesses. And I'm sure I'd love to know in our visitors, or what do we call you guys, the viewers, the other people in the chat?
Our
people
listener.
who are watching. Lava files. But I'd be interested to know, are you home-based? Thank you. You're ahead of the game, tweeting goddess. Yes, that's my question. Home-based, based outside of home, just to get an idea, because I know that being home-based, that's even something around this territory of reaching out. Like when I found myself this week in this real roller coaster, and I thought, boy, I wish that there was somebody else in the office with me to just kind of bounce things around with. And I thought, I need to reach out. I actually reached out to our friend Steve Dotto, and just because he's a trusted advisor of mine. And I just thought, that being home-based, you get a little isolated. So being able to enlist your family members as part of the strategy for coping, I think is really important, especially in your case, Sean, where you have kind of like a man down, right? Your wife is down.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of things that we're doing this week that, just not in the mix. Not to mention the fact that my wife is a vice principal, so she's missing the first 2 weeks of school going into the school year in her brand new position as a vice principal. So there's a little bit of pressure there because you've got a person who is hardworking, determined and unable to sit still, having to not do anything, while she convalesces, and it's driving her nuts, which tends to drive us a little bananas. Not a good patient. That's what I find with myself when I'm down. I'm really not a very good patient. My husband's not really a very good nurse, There was a little bit about the military training and being able to do crisis management that made a difference for me. And my son is taking leadership in high school, so he's using this as a means of taking a leadership role and helping with his brother. So it's all kind of seems to be converging into a real learning experience for everybody.
Yeah. So can you just tell us, Sean, just the high points, like what crisis management, like what are top 3 things to know about crisis management? What would be useful for those of us in business to know?
The first thing right off the bat, not everything is important. Yeah. It's a really common problem, especially with entrepreneurs who are, the chief cook and bottle washer there's this thing within us that seems to need to do everything and make every client's need get met and make every supplier's need get met and make every subcontractor's need get met. And you got to sit there and you got to prioritize and you got to say, this is important. This has to get done. This can wait. And if you bring in your clients and you bring in your suppliers and you tell them, here's where we are right now. If you can't wait for it, I think you're going to have to go find somebody else, because I can't meet your demand, and I would much rather see you get what you need versus wait for what you need. So making sure that the first thing is you have to decide what is important.
The priority.
I think, And
so I was just going to say, you guys all know Mike Vardy, right? The productivityist, Mike Vardy. That's something that he said to me this week. He said, priorities doesn't have a plural. Like the word priority, it's a single thing. That just reminded me. So you're saying the second thing is?
The second thing is making sure that you take a break. It's really easy to get caught up in the work, and the next thing you know, 4 hours has gone down the tube. And making sure that you block out specific periods of time to get a specific thing done, and then take a break. Sit down, read a magazine, have a cup of coffee, watch the world go by. If you don't take that breath, you're going to be just wearing yourself out, and a worn out you is a useless you. I've found, especially during this week, if my wife is asleep and the kids are at school and the client is offline, I'm done. I'm just I stare at the ceiling and look. I'm a guy. I can get away with stucco. It's really easy for me. What do you think? Nothing.
So just so you're going to, Karina, the question, is that what you were going to point out? You've got a question? Yes. Good. Because I could see you're kind of like.
Great question.
Yeah.
You ever turn down customers?
Yes.
Yes, I do. You guys, Karina, Lori? Yeah. Hard to do though, right? Is it easy? I mean, I find it hard to do, to be honest. LinkedIn expert saying yes, she does also.
And the thing is that if I'm turning down a customer, I always make sure that they understand the reason I'm saying no is because I don't think that I can deliver what you need when you need it. All right. Yeah. It's not that I don't want your business. It's not that I don't think I can do it. It's got much more to do with the fact that I don't think I have the time available in my schedule to meet your demands. And, if you need help in the future, great. I'm happy to come back and work with you. But for right now, I'm going to point you in this direction to this person whom I trust to help
having
you
that
out.
Referral list I find really helpful. I have a set of people that, and I mean, Karina and Lori, you both know you're part of it. Sean, I've referred people I think over to you as well. Bringing Viveka in to do some work with me with a client. I just thought I don't need to do it all myself, and if I know I can put my clients into good hands, then that's great. That's great for me. It's great for the client, and it's great for the person that I'm referring them to as well. But it's kind of letting go. I had to let go a little bit of the fear of, A, will the quality be good, and B, will the client like the work?
There's always that fear of losing a client, and it's not really a fear anybody should have.
Is that FOMO thing again?
I just wanted to point out, that Jenny is saying that she finds it easier now that she's more established, which totally makes sense. And then Viveka says, yes, she does. Otherwise, it could be, if it's not the right fit, they're the pain in the ass customer. And
that's right. That takes up 80% of your time.
No, seriously, I had experienced that the hard way, where it was like, no, I only want to pay you this much, just a little. And I just thought, well, I can't turn people down because I'm so new. And she was a nightmare.
Yeah. It's always, and you know what I find? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know that in my gut. When that happens and I say that yes when I should be saying no, it's like my body will tell me in a heartbeat. And I ignore it. And I've done it. My biggest lessons that I've learned in business, I'm 21 years now in my business, are if you get that feeling in your gut, trust it. Because if you don't, it's going to come back, and it's not going to bite you in the gut, but it's going to bite you in the ass every single time. It really is, right? Like Sean's nodding. It's like, you just know it, right?
I don't have much of an ass left right now.
Been bitten in it just too many times. I know the feeling, right? But it's part of it. Like, that's the learning. And when we were talking about like our weeks of ups and downs, like part of it is I believe we learn as much from the downs as we do from the ups. I just have to remind myself of that. The challenges are kind of what I think makes you better in a lot of ways, but having kind of a sense of a safety net or people around you as you go through that. So Sean, I'm just going to ask if it's all right if I X you out for a minute, just in case someone else wants to jump in and talk with the chicks. You can just stay in the chat and we'll bring you back. Is that okay? Thanks, buddy. You sound like you could use a rest anyway. Good one. Yeah, thanks, hon. Okay. Good. So we're opening up the seat if anyone would like to jump in and join us. I'm wondering, Jenny, you might want to come on in and say hi.
Jenny, come in multitasking.
I'd love to pop in soon, just multitasking. Yeah. Isn't it a drag sometimes? I actually don't like multitasking very much anymore.
Apparently Jenny's good at it.
Yeah, we hear. We'll get her. Hey, Jenny.
Hi, guys. How are you? How are you doing?
Welcome. So Jenny, you're joining us from Ireland, right?
I am, yeah. Sorry, it's 10 to 10 at night. It's kind of late. I was just putting the kids to bed. And
you saw a blab and you were like, oh, I've got a blab. So yes.
I know. I was like following Vivica around going, where's she going now?
The queen of blab. Yeah.
So this is a really great conversation. I'm really enjoying it. It's brilliant.
Oh, good. And so how was your week? Tell us how your week was and what are you coping? Are you thriving or surviving this week?
I'm surviving this week, definitely. For us, I don't know if it's the same in Canada or the States. The kids have just gone back to school and I'm just trying to get a proper routine going around work and the family, and we're house hunting at the moment, and I'm trying to run a business and I'm hiring new members of my team. So it's just been a crazy week. So up and down, on lots of different levels, emotionally as well. So, but everything is good,
Yeah,
I'm surviving. I'm surviving, Vicky.
You're surviving. Well, I mean, that's the important thing, right? It's like keeping your head above water. Sometimes that's the best you can do. And I always like to say to people, you're doing your best is different depending on the circumstances you're in. And when you're having everything's smooth sailing and everybody's in place and all your gears are functioning, your best can really look like one thing, be way up here. But if you're not feeling good, or you've had a blow like I had this week, or you're trying to get new people in place, your best might look quite different. Or if you're really tired, like Sean's explaining, and you've got some, a bit of a family crisis going on, your best is very different. I think we often set up this very unrealistic standard for ourselves, not really respecting the dynamic nature of our lives and our own energy levels. So, yeah. Really hear you. So I'm curious. So this thing about bringing on people, and I was actually having Karina and Lori here. I was wishing to phone them both today because I thought I need to talk to someone about onboarding people or getting the right kind of support in place. So I'd love to hear any tips that the three of you have to offer around how do you get the right sort of people in place to sort of support your business or your work. We don't know.
Go Jenny.
Go Jenny.
Jenny, didn't you just do a blab about this?
Yeah, it's so funny because my business is so virtual and I've got clients all over the world. Yet I really like to have somebody here physically in my office so that I kind of, first of all, it can be really, really lonely working in social media and, you're on the platforms and you kind of see what's going on, but you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. You kind of think, oh, I'm missing out. And for me, it's I'm not in America and all these conferences are happening. I'm oh, I wish I was there and I wish I was doing this, that, and the other. But actually, I had a conversation with Steve Dotto recently, and we're really lucky in Ireland. We have a really, really good scheme that came out around the time of the recession where you can hire somebody who is either just fresh out of college or they've got 1 or 2 years experience. To work in your business for 9 months, and it doesn't cost you, the business owner, anything. So you can get paid by the state. So I did that last year, and so I've got Inika who works on my team now, and I hired her after the 9 months because she was so good. And so we're just going through that process again. So it's a great way of being able to build your team. And I've kind of realized that I just can't do it all anymore. It's just not possible. even though I want to.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I'm at. I mean, I have these guys work with me, and I have 2 or 3 other people on my team as well, part-time, but I'm still finding it's like, okay, there's more I need to let go of. And it's almost that process of figuring out what can be delegated, as Sean was saying about delegating to his son, for example, like what could be delegated? What do I need to keep doing? What really requires me, and what can someone else do, and possibly even do better, which is what I'd be looking for. Is like, what's that those talents that people bring. And I know that's part of a role, Jenny, that you play for a lot of people. You actually come in bringing a set of skills either that they need or that they are ready to outsource.
Yeah,
right
definitely.
Now, sorry, Jenny.
Sorry. Yeah, definitely.
All together now.
What happens when you get a bunch of people who like to talk together? Go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead.
This. Definitely this. I think letting go of control, certainly for me in my business, was like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
And so many of my clients, like, they've come to me either through referral, word of mouth, because I've started working for one person, and then I feel like that client really wants to work with me. They don't want to work with anybody else. So, and I feel so attached to my clients, and I hate letting go of anything. But then, there's only so many hours in the week. But most people that I work with, they're pretty cool now, and they understand that I'm building a team. So now I'm kind of learning about the importance of, the training side of things and the processes to support that team, which I have not been good at. I have to admit, I haven't been very good at doing that. Systems.
It's putting systems in place. That's what I find challenging too. Yeah. Lori. Sure. Yeah. Or Karina, one of you was chiming in there. Sorry. I was reading the chat too.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I'm just thinking about can you hear me? One of the contracts I've recently taken on comes with admin support, and it's wonderful. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got a big echo on you. Yeah.
Maybe I'll let somebody else go.
Okay. You want me to just X you out for a minute, Lori?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, we'll just see what happens with the echo when I take you off, and then just echo when I take you off, and then just try to. Okay, yeah, because I've got a big echo. Oh no. Okay, yeah, because I'm okay.
Oh yeah, now it's fine.
Is it?
Oh, or maybe it's still echoing.
It's a slower echo now. Yeah. This seems to be a blab thing that happens. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry, peeps. This is just part of it. It is in beta. Blab is still in beta. So. Okay. So now I'm just wondering. Yeah. Thanks your biz rules. Yeah, we've got the echo. Somebody has a tab open. The tab open. Does anybody have an extra tab? Yes, definitely a noob host, Sarah Miller. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. We're all pretty noob when it comes to blab. Yeah, we're all pretty noob. 3 months old. Okay, so I'm just gonna, Jen, if it's okay, I'm gonna X you out as well, just to see if we do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's just see what's happening now. Okay. So now, how's the echo out there while I'm alone? Thanks, Jen. She's given me some props. I'm just trying to figure it out. None. Okay, good. So it's all good on this end. Okay, so Karina, do you want to try coming back in then, hon? And great. Okay, let's just see how we go with 2. Could be, we're a lot of different bandwidth. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. She said it could have been her, although tabs are all closed. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Karina. Good. Okay, so how are we doing on the echo? I can't hear it. None. Thanks, Sean. We're all good now. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, it's just this is one of the challenges with Blab. I think we've got, 4 different locations, different kinds of equipment that we're using, different, PC, Macs, all kinds of headphones. It was the West of Ireland echo. It's probably some of those really mythical things, right?
Probably. The
wisps. Good. So Lori, do you want to try coming back in? And if anybody would like to join us, please do. We'll bring Lori back in and see if we can, the seat's open. So early replay, Sean saying, yeah, that's right, very early. Hey, Lori.
Hey.
That's good. Okay, so no echo with Lori either. So good, thanks, Jenny. Thanks for that, everybody. Good. So does anybody want to jump into the seat and offer us how their week was if they have any tips, any insights, how they're coping, thriving, or surviving.
Well, I know Anthony wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ace Music.
There he is. Okay, welcome.
I have a question too.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I apologize
Hi,
for going to the gym, so sorry.
Oh, well, you don't have to apologize to us for that. I'm sorry.
Wait a second, stop.
Really, really? Yeah, that's right. Oh, my eyes, my eyes.
What are you wearing?
Sorry. Yeah, I walked right into that one head on. Boom.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you know, I don't know. We're probably gonna get some anti-props for being reverse sexist or something. But anyway.
I doesn't want to be surrounded by 3 women. I mean, really, come on, guys. Let's.
Right. This is great. Love it. We got you all to ourselves. We like that. Yeah. So tell us about your week. Getting better, right?
I'm actually blushing. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
So, wow, that was very unexpected. So I had a good week. I had a profitable week.
Oh, profitable week is always good.
Yeah. So, real quick, I own an entertainment company that also does MC, keynote speaking, voice of God, voiceovers, conference hosting. I'm also a motivational speaker, so I have that part of my life. And then I work in the renewable energy business. I do hedge fund investing. So I live this double life. So
right.
When I say profitable, the solar renewable business was very profitable. My speaking business got a little hectic this week because my goal is to record 100 motivational videos. And then at 100, I would write a book.
Wow.
I'm stuck at 99. I feel like I got a mental block. So I'm trying to
okay.
So what I did was
go ahead. I was just going to say, I was going to ask you a question, which is this getting stuck at 99. Is that something, do you get stuck at the finish line on other kinds of projects, or is this the first time that it's happened for you?
It's that fear of success thing.
Aha. Yeah. It was a kind of a coachy related question. You know, I couldn't help myself.
No, it's a great question. So what I did was to get myself back on track is I went back and started my journaling. I'm a voracious journaler. So I went back to journaling, journal, and I look back and say, okay, what inspired me today? What ticked me off today? What got me juiced today? And I went back to my journal. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So tomorrow I'm going to record 99. And then I'm going to be off the grid for a week because I'm traveling to California for a conference. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So my tip for you guys is you have to come back to, Vicki said something about process. You gotta center yourself in some type of routine or structure, because if you don't, you go this way.
Yeah. I'm giving you props for that. Yeah. Love routine.
Listen, I've been an ADD person all of my life, and I'm the shiny little toy person. Oh, look at that! Look at that! When you realize, when you continue to do that, and you're trying to run a business, you will definitely poison yourself. You'll poison your customers. Yes. You'll poison your vendors, your suppliers, your relationships, because they're going to look to you to be on point, scheduled, strategic, process based. If you're not, so what I did today was I went back to my journaling. I centered myself. I said, okay, I got to get this done, Anthony. Put on your big boy pants. Just start thinking and just.
If you have to.
Sorry. If you have to put on your pants.
Nice. I'm trying.
Sorry. That was probably like so not.
She's just.
I cannot believe I can't believe
that. So am I. So there we go. Yeah.
I have to say,
you're also very kind. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to jump out.
It's important to be kind. Okay, thanks so much, Anthony. Great. So I think Karina or Lori, you had a question?
No, my question was, I'm just starting to use some project management software, on some of these projects that I'm working on. Usually everything was just sort of in my book and jotting things down, and now I'm just trying to take it online. Where other team members can jump in and out and see where different projects are at. But I'm not finding it really intuitive or automatic for me to use an online system. So I'm wondering if anybody has any tips going from the offline sort of notebook, keeping everything in check versus taking it online. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great question, Lori. And I was on actually a blab. I think Steve and Mike Vardy were on it, and really talking about like the difference between analog and digital. And I'm a really analog person, as you know. I could show you guys here if I could move my iMac screen. I've got like just piles of paper around me all the time. But finding, I think, those right tools digitally is really important. And I have, Vivica's got one, 17 hats, she says. Is that? Yeah. Okay. And I'm using, we use Basecamp as a team together. Right. I'm looking at Slack now. I don't know, it's 17 Hats. She's insistent. Did you want to come on and tell us about 17 Hats, Viveka? Do you want to pop on and tell us about, yeah, that would be great. Thanks. Because I haven't heard of that one, honestly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. Like, maybe you know about it because you're kind of really digital. So what is it about the hats?
Yeah. 17 Hats. It's so I used to use, well, first I used QuickBooks and it was way more than I needed. So then I used FreshBooks, but it wasn't enough. So 17 Hats does a really nice job of combining. So I use 17 Hats.
Patrick.
It's kind of a contract. Yeah, it's a contract funnel. I also use Asana, and I'm actually going to look at Slack as well because of Steve Dotto.
Right. So Steve Dottle's been mentioned how many times in this blog?
Oh, I know.
Now? Like 10?
in the chat.
Yeah, let's put a link to Steve's work, Dotto Tech, in there. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and here's his thing on Blab too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, 17 Hats is like an intake funnel, or I don't know what to call it. I'm not in that world. I'm not in the productivity world. But what it allows me to do when someone queries me on LinkedIn, like I get a lot of looky-loos and I get a lot of pick-your-brainers. So what I have my assistant do is she puts them right into 17 Hats. The first thing that goes out is just a real short little, like literally 2-minute questionnaire, basically saying, what's your name? What's your company name? Are you on LinkedIn? What's your URL? What do you want to get out of LinkedIn? What are your frustrations?
And so that is your assistant does it, or does the platform actually, you can send that?
The platform does it. She just puts their name and email address in. It sends that. Once, if they answer it, I don't even think it actually has that much stuff in it. If they answer the questionnaire, they get a link to a 15-minute, Calendly link to a 15-minute consultation with me. If they do that, then we talk on the phone, and now I've got a pretty high closing rate. So it automates that. Now, if they become a client of mine, I upgrade them to client. It sends them, depending on what we're doing, working together. I've got 3 different programs, but depending on what we're doing together, it sends them a specific questionnaire, according to the work that we're going to do. It sends them, once they go through the questionnaire, it sends them a quote. Once they accept the quote, it sends them it sends them a contract. Once they accept the contract, it sends them a quote. The quote turns into an invoice. They pay the invoice. They get another email with their resources in it. And the whole thing is automated.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
the other thing I like is as I change things up, like maybe I changed my program. So I changed something up in the template because it's all templates. So I changed something up in the template. I just save it as a new template. So now maybe I have a program that's one-on-one consulting and one on a few consulting and one on many consulting. So I can within a matter of minutes do what it used to take hours to do. And quite frankly, I can delegate 90% of that to my assistant.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Awesome.
Yeah. So worth checking out the 17 Hats. And did we get a link into the, if there is a link posted
I think I've got an affiliate link. Not that I care. I think I get $2, but I'll see if I can find it.
In there anyway. $2 is $2.
Yeah.
That's $2 more this week.
It is right. Yeah, no, exactly. Every little bit helps.
Well, that's why we say just coming in. That's great. Thank you so much.
We
got lots of great. Lots of people are commenting in it. I just wanted to shout out to. See if Viveka, she X'd herself out.
She's gone. I'm done.
Patrick Novotny has. I just wanted to shout out to Patrick. Somebody that we all met at Social Media Camp a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago now. And again, he's that tie guy, or the tie guy, and he does a really cool men's tie stuff. So I think you're in the room, Patrick. Hi. And if you do want to jump in, feel free to jump in and tell us how your week was. He's saying hi, everyone. You just have to click join me and enable your browser. Okay, he's going to come in and say hi. Patrick's a sweetheart. So here comes Patrick. And just, Patrick, make sure to enable your microphone and screen. You'll get a little pop-up for that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all that.
Yeah.
I'm still not ready.
Patrick.
Yay. We kind of put you on the spot. And thanks. We see that Viveka has popped in the 17 Hats link for us. So that's great. So, Karina, I was going to ask, you guys use something too, because I know when I get proposals from you or Shane, who's your partner in the digital side of your business, you guys, it's a really neat kind of, I think it's very slick. What, it gives us the proposal and then it gives us a time frame to respond. Is that a particular tool software that you're using?
Yes. So we're using Zoho Books, and I like things to be simple, push button monkey. I don't want to have to think hard about the technology I'm using. So,
right. Yeah.
So my husband did all the research and he came to me and said, look, honey, all you do is go log your task and click start timer. So if I'm working on a time, then I can just have it all timed. Or if I go meet a client and I need to put that time in, I just go put it in for that project. And at the end of the month, the billing is just super simple.
Great. I really like it when we got it. I thought, and it also looks nice. And I like that too. It has a really nice, like just visually it's appealing. So when you get it, it just has that really like slick kind of nice, it's not overly corporate. I think it suits your guys' style because you guys are kind of Fox Street Solutions is kind of hip and it's just got a nice look. So thanks for sharing that one as well, Karina. And so Patrick, how was your week? We're talking, thank God it's Friday. Are you thriving or surviving? Just surviving this week.
Well, it seems that everybody, hi everyone.
Hi Patrick.
Hi Vivica, I see you in the chat there. It's really good. Everyone asks me, am I busy? And I keep saying, no, not really. And that's sort of a bad thing to say for my day job as a realtor, but I just seem to be very efficient at it. I'm not running around. I'm not chasing anything.
Nice.
And I know you're asking like, how is my week? And I'm thinking about that. And how does everybody cope with stresses? I really like how Sean was saying that, not everything is important. So I'm interpreting that as you don't have to react to every time the kids scream for something. I've got four of them at my house. So I don't get up until it's a real emergency. That's how I
So what characterizes a real emergency? Blood or is it
blood?
I don't get up. But finding balance
even for blood.
So I sold a house. Right. So I'm a realtor. I sold a house this week and working
in Victoria.
on right now. In Victoria.
Yeah.
But I was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I drove to Edmonton and back through the Rockies, and like I have my phone with me, and I was with family, and it was just kind of a zip there and zip back. But I think the ability to, or having the flexibility started years ago where I burnt myself out first. I was working too much, chasing work too hard and not allowing it to happen. I was trying to force it, right? So I've done a lot of things where I've turned my social life. I didn't have a social life. I turned my social life into my business. My family, being involved more with my family has allowed me to network genuinely with people, and people get to know me, and it's just been so amazing ever since. I'm grateful for burning out as much as it's painful to do that, and then realizing I had to change how I'm doing something. But it took that process to realize that I don't have energy to keep going every single day on and on and on. And we're all self-employed, so we get a lot of rejection, I'm sure. So now I get a lot less rejection, and I'm getting it come natural to me, and I get to do more things now too. So
I love that though. It's like the
so that's my week, but it started years ago.
Yes, and it's like you learned the hard way, but you've learned, right? And something that I always say is in business is be the flame, not the moth. I'm getting that echo again. Yeah, be the flame, not the moth. Go for attraction. You don't need to beat your wings against everybody's screen door. You don't need to be like.
I think we're on the same page, because I look at it as be the magnet, attract people to you instead of chasing them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, be the flame.
Be the flame. Be who you are and do it your way, and the right people will come to the dance. Like that's what I always think. The right people are at the dance with me. Yeah. So Sean, I'm going to X you out just in case. You're absolutely. You have a standing invitation, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye, Sean.
Bye, Sean.
See you, Sean.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was getting a little bit of an echo. One thing for you guys that, I mean, we're all pretty new to Blab, but if you are coming on, it's really helpful if you do have a mic and if you also have a headset that you can plug in, just because we often then get, we're recording or getting the sound, we're picking it up from your computer as well as our mics. And as you get going, yes, Karina, you're saying you love that quote. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie.
Guess what we did? We totally just called Patrick Sean. All of us.
Oh, did we? Totally? Oh, Sean. Oh, Patrick. You guys are
Patrick,
just so...
Sean, you're a man with a face.
Sean's going to pop back on. I think he wants a rebuttal. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, Sean. Not Patrick. Sean. Patrick, sorry about that, honey. You guys are both Victoria guys.
Oh, my gosh. It's a late
I've decided to become, because I hear that they're very popular, a social media Jedi. So I will bring work to me because I can.
The work that you are.
This is my thing. I mean, this is my thing. Is you gotta take your day and be silly in it somewhere, because
or take my day and be silly in it, for example.
Oh, I mean, I see too many people going through their day and not finding the silly in it. And if you go through your day without a little bit of sense of humor, that's going to be transposed onto your clients. That's going to be transposed onto your family. And it's never going to be a good thing. You're stressed out. Everybody else around you gets stressed out. Nothing gets done. But if you jump into the screen and you go, I'm going to take you out. People are going to say, I want
one of those now, Sean. Where did you get that? I would like one.
From the Jedi Council. I had no idea. I found that lately, as we're getting closer to the release of the new Star Wars, everybody is sending me links to stuff that's all Star Wars, because I'm a bit of a geek. Well, I'm a lot of a geek. Yeah. Okay, I am the geek. And it's...
Just be honest about it, all right?
It's, I mean, it's those little things. Like, you look at my desk and I've got Star Wars figurines and I take a break and I go and fly the Millennium Falcon around the room just for the sake of flying the Millennium Falcon around the room. And if I've reached that point... Do
you have like an actual Millennium Falcon, or is this a toy?
No, it's the actual... It's the new...
Because I'm going to swoon all over the place here.
It's the new quadcopter Millennium Falcon. So it's a little remote-controlled Millennium Falcon. I've discovered I could do the Kessel Run in my house.
That sounds
in
really fun.
But it's stepping away for just that moment to do something silly and then coming back, because otherwise you're going to spend the rest of your day going, has anybody seen my sense of humor? Because I think I've put it someplace and I can't find it.
Yeah, so important, right? I always say that, take the work seriously, but take yourself lightly. Just take yourself lightly.
You look at when we're getting ready for social media camp, and Chris and Paul and myself and the rest of the team, we're all just going freaking bananas. And yet we arrive into the mix, and all of a sudden it's gone from bananas to insane bananas. But we all try and keep a good face about it. We go out and we do and have fun. And it always works out. And stuff gets missed, but you come back to it and you go, okay, well, is it really that important that we didn't get that done? No, probably not. Move on.
Let's move on. And something, Sean, I want to point out that I think you're bringing up that's really important as well. And just in terms of a tip, and I know Lori and Karina and I, all three of us were at Social Media Camp last year. I think this was my third or fourth year. We do want to give a plug to Social Media Camp. I think it's really important to go and do your professional development, actually go out and connect with the people that do the work you do. My goal in my business has always been, if I don't know how to do something, to try to find the people who do and find the best people I can, so that I can then give that to my clients. And Social Media Camp here, it's in Victoria, BC. It's in the spring. It's in May. Is it the third weekend in May, Sean? Or
yeah. The dates are a little bit earlier this year, but for 2016.
It's in May, and it's Victoria, BC, Canada. Really, some of the best people I've ever met in terms of the quality of their work, but also just in terms of the kind of people. It's a really fun, dynamic conference. but I know being, again, in a self-employed in a small business, often alone, to be able to go out and be with colleagues, to meet people, to get new ideas, so important. Vivica's cheering in the sidebar. Patrick, we met there. Vivica, I met there for the first time a couple of years ago. Just really, again, an important component is just doing that outreach, connecting with other people. Really valuable.
Well, I mean, you were one of my early athletes as I was coaching.
That's right. And,
I know. And I mean, I find that watching the people as they learn, I'm learning as much from them as I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
And I found that I learned a lot.
I'm going to give you props for that.
In the whole process.
Yeah.
As a social media coach, I'm always learning. And if somebody calls me as a social media guru, I was like, well, thank you, but
Jedi,
no.
Jedi, please. Oh, don't you say Jedi?
Oh, yes.
Jedi for you. Yeah. Social media Jedi.
It's really just a constant learning process, and if you find yourself doing that learning process all the time by yourself, you're not getting the full effect of it, especially when it comes to social media. My goal within social media has always been about meeting and connecting with new people, with the goal of eventually meeting them face to face.
Yeah.
So, meeting somebody like Patrick or meeting somebody like Vivica and learning about them, by the time you get to that in real life connection, it's like you're meeting an old friend.
Yeah.
I wished I'd learned more about Vivica so that I actually had the spill-proof clothing on.
Right. Yeah. Well, don't we all? Vivica spilled coffee on her computer a couple of times. It was so sad. Yeah.
It's really just a case.
Wait, we're getting a call from the chat room, Sean, to show us your tattoo.
Oh,
show us your tattoo.
Well, I don't know if you could. Okay, because
I'm sure we can see it.
For all the evolution, or for all the non-evolutionists in the crowd, be prepared. We have descended from apes. Just to let you know. All right, so. On a bet. Oh,
Sean's telling us about his hair.
It is.
Okay, great. So that's the Social Media Camp logo that Sean actually had tattooed onto his body. So some of us, think we're committed, but others of us are really committed.
Or some of us should be committed.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, my wife, Steve Dotto, he looked at it and he used a rather colorful metaphor to describe me when I did that. And I said, well, a tattoo is about what you feel passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I'm completely passionate about things like Social Media Camp. It's a part of me. And so the ink is just a part of me. Yeah. And it really does exemplify myself. Social Media Camp may not be here 50 years from now, but I'll have a good memory of it.
Yeah, and your ink will be, for sure.
And my ink will always be there.
And that's part of that finding the silly.
Everybody will remember that year.
Yes, and I think it's part of that thing that you're saying about finding the silly, like being willing to just be out there and be who you are and enjoy yourself in your work 100%. And that's something I've always loved about you, Sean. It's just that
being an Army veteran, it's always about the extreme silly.
Yeah, good. So we've got about 10 minutes left. I was just going to, Sean, I might X you out one more time and just see if someone else wants to come in. God knows what you'll bring back next time to come in. Sorry, Karina, are you?
Okay, I have to go and finish emptying the pool anyway.
Okay, emptying the pool. Poor you.
The summer is over.
So hard. Summer is over. That's another transition that we're in. Great. Okay. Thanks, Sean.
Bye, guys.
Bye for now.
Bye. Again,
I'm just wondering, I noticed that Rebecca is here, and I'm wondering if Rebecca would like to jump in. Rebecca Coleman, we did a blab with her earlier in the week about back to school day. I don't know if she's still in the room or not.
There's also a question here from Sarah Miller. Did you see that, Vicki?
Okay, can you sorry.
So it says 911 killed 3K in one day. Being overweight kills 10K daily.
Oh, okay.
Why does no one talk about that? No one learn math in school. That's what she's asking.
Okay, well, so partly not. I guess it's kind of related to our topic in a certain way. If we're talking about, how do you take care of your health? And that's kind of how I'm interpreting the question. I don't know, Lori, are you getting something different from it? And I know that it is September 11th, and I want to be sensitive to that. It is a day. I was actually going to mention something because Sean served in the military as well. And anyway, I just wanted to it is 9/11 today, and we're conscious of that here in Canada as well. A really tragic day for everyone. And so I'd be apt not to be going into a conversation about weight loss in relation to that, I guess, from my own perspective. But I do think there's an important conversation to be held around how do we keep ourselves healthy so we can have the best life that we can have, and that we can together thrive on the planet in a way that is peaceful and loving, which is certainly my goal, and the message in my business is about us being able to reach out to one another and support and love all the time on all the days of the year. So thanks for bringing that into our environment, into our space. Yeah. LinkedIn experts, actually, we're all white at N-bound. Yeah. So it is really a day for us to be cognizant as well. So always happy to be reminded. So is there anybody, I may think maybe Rebecca might have left the room. I was thinking if she wanted to come in, is there anybody that wants to come in and offer us a tip, say how they're doing? And also Social Chicks, do you guys have any other questions, insights that you want to?
I wanted to mention something else. It's been on my mind all week. And, oh, wow. Sorry, I'm just reading something Sean said. 9/11 was his last day in the Army. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Dotto's here.
Dotto's here. Well, do you want to just?
He's going to want to talk.
We're going to have to wrap up our last 5 minutes with Steve, only because we mentioned him. Like, I think I counted 12 times, and it may have been more. That was just what I counted.
So exactly. Who's counting anymore?
Welcome, Deirdre. Okay, well, so Karina, what were you going to say? And then I'll invite Steve to join the room to wrap us up.
Okay, so very quickly, I was sent this link to Socality Barbie, the Instagram
I love
account.
Socality Barbie. Oh, she's
yeah, and it's touched, it's tweaked some people and their interest, and I've talked to these people, and it's about comparing your life to people online, and especially, well, actually, I shouldn't say especially parents, because that's not true. It's anybody, running your own business. Yeah. It's so easy to compare to other people and go, well, they're 10 times better than I am, so why should I even try? And there's mothers that look like Socality Barbie, okay, but they're staging their kids, and their entire lives look like a dream come true.
Well, and speaking for myself, you can't help it if you look like Socality Barbie. Right? You chicks know what I'm talking about. But I take your point, right? It's like, it is this thing of like our lives have become so staged, and then we're comparing ourselves to people who are kind of staging their lives. And we know that life is chaotic. That's how we started. Life is chaotic. Life is messy. It's rich and it's beautiful and it's tearful and it's tender. And I'm very much cognizant of that this week. And yet we want to somehow put out this image of a life that is something else. And do we really want that something else? Like this sort of sterile, perfectly staged, perfectly lit life? Maybe, but I don't.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do I or not?
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Actually, I'm going to let Steve come into the room now, because it's just always so perfect that he does. Darlene Kirchner in the chat says, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it only matters when you get to the finish line, right? Like, it only matters when you get to the end, then you kind of know what you've done. So, okay, here's our friend Steve, who we talked about, took his name in vain. It's so perfect. I'm not going to give him the tech tips on how to join the room. I think he knows.
Yeah. Should we send him the link on how?
Your own entrance music. I love it. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Good. Between you and Sean, we're getting lots of silly. Hey, Steve, we've got, Patrick was on with us today. The Thai guy.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see that your blab was on. I was doing one, and then I went off and I decompressed and was doing things, and I don't know, but I suddenly kind of went through and saw, so I'm sorry. I should have been paying attention.
No, that's great. We actually, your name has been mentioned so many times. I'm so happy that you showed up for that reason, because people are like, Steve Dotto. Everyone's talking about Steve Dotto. So do tell us, Steve, how was your week? Thriving or surviving this week?
Oh, okay. I should have looked at the topic. Thriving or surviving?
It's not the Steve Dotto hour. We were going to make it that, but we thought, well, he can't be on.
I think that if I look at it objectively, it's thriving. But in reality, when you're doing that, sometimes you're just surviving because you're juggling so many things. So I would say probably a little of both, if that's not too like.
Yeah. Too ambiguous or something.
But the problem is, did you talk about? I mean, I know that you and I had a conversation about all of the opportunities coming your way, and just the pressures that you're feeling as a result. Because the issue is, I mentioned to you yesterday, like 6 months ago, you got nothing in the pipeline, so you put all these feelers out and you put all these things in place, and you start them moving, and they generate a momentum of their own.
Yes.
And if one comes through, good. If two comes through, great. But then 4 things come through, and you're going, oh, shit, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
and sometimes I feel a little bit of that. Today, I'm supposed to have 2 presentations in place. One of them is delivered to the guys at Social Boom in Chicago, which is fine. But the other one is I'm doing this TEDx in Vancouver. It's not until
so fantastic.
It's not till next. I think we actually have another millennium go by before the event. It's like 8 months down the road, and they want my talk. They want my talk written out, my speech. Yes. I've never written out a speech before, so I'm trying to get that done. So right now I'm just, surviving. I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, keeping your head above water.
Instead of doing my work, I'm
blabbing.
Because this is more fun.
And because it's easier, right? More fun and easier. And I find that for me, it's a little bit of a tip. I do that as a bit of a stress management. It's like if I've got a lot on the go, I think, okay, what could I do that would be easy and fun right now? Sometimes it's just like checking Facebook. Yeah, or checking in on a blab. I said to Steve, blabbing lately, it's like it's better than watching TV because it's people I actually know. So I just, I want to tune out. So I think I'm going to watch a blab and it's going to be people I know. And that's so cool. And yeah. But
can I answer LL Colt's question?
Yes.
Are you?
Autotech.
Yes.
Are you a millionaire? In friendship. In friendship, I am.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Do you have some music to go with that, Steve? What's the music that goes with that kind of heartfelt answer?
I do. Just
rich in love, says the Thai guy. Our friend Patrick says rich in love.
It's all about friends.
It's all about friends. It is. Well, and with that is actually perfect because we are now at the bottom of the hour, which is kind of what I committed to. Now, I'm happy to stay on for a little while if people want to, but I do want to, I know that Karina and Laura, you both were having things that you thought you might have to move on with, but yeah, we could stay on for 5 more minutes or so if people want a little more. Let us know. Give us some. Do you want us to stay on?
All the old crowds here. There's Sean. How are you doing, Sean? And
Sean's been on.
This is good.
Yeah, Deidre.
We're not going to have to meet in Victoria anymore. We're going to be able to hang out.
Meet on the blabs. We'll meet on the blabs. That's right. Yeah, Deirdre. I think Deirdre's here. She's goes between 2 places. She's either in Florida or she's in Connecticut. I think she's on her way back to Florida now from Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm surprised Sean in Campbell River has time for blab because with the condition that is what his wife's just gone through, I'd imagine he's doing dishes, doing laundry, cleaning the house, picking up the kids, and doing everything. Just saying, Sean.
Yes, that is. She shared that about his week in terms of thriving and surviving. But there was something that you said, Steve, that I really liked, which was this thing about 6 months ago, and there's not much in the pipeline, or for me that can be the case, or it can just be that I'm like dreaming stuff up all the time, always in this kind of creation mode. And then as you create more and more things, they do start to happen, they start to manifest. And when they do, it's sort of like that being prepared, right? How do we prepare for our own success in a sense? So LinkedIn Expert is raining showers of money in a gift for us. So Karina's doing the dance.
I'm just going to say, Vivica, bring some of that next week to Chicago. That would be good.
Yeah, good. So, okay, well, maybe we will wrap it up then, you guys. Okay, so thank you. Now, I think that the way that this works, Steve, you can coach me through this again, is that people need to X out of their own boxes, and then I go out last.
Yes. So, close us out one at a time, and just be the last person out, or the room is left open. But here's one other thing. Here's something I haven't done yet, but you can do. Tell people, say, if you want to continue this chat, start your own blab and pass it forward. So pass the baton to somebody else that can open a new blab.
Okay, great.
And they can come back in here and they can post it in here. So give them a few seconds to do that. Because somebody might want to talk. But somebody might want to
do. Someone does, so go ahead and do that, and then you can. So in the meantime, what I'll ask is maybe each of you to just kind of give us what was your favorite takeaway from our blab today in terms of tips, tools, ideas, fun, whatever. So we can kind of wrap it up. Favorite takeaway.
Yeah, I think for me it's just being. Oh, I like that. Thank you. Yeah, just being kind and gentle to ourselves for sure.
Yeah. Being just knowing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, giving ourselves lots of room to be human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the being silly takeaway. I got to go and be silly now. So.
Yeah, the being silly from Sean. That was a perfect one. That was so great. Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
Okay, I'm going to X you out now. Bye, sweetie. Talk to you in a little while. Okay, and so Karina.
Oh, my favorite takeaway. I think I'm going to start doing my dance parties with a lightsaber.
Exactly. Yeah, the silly. That was a big takeaway, I think. Just having more fun, being more silly. Yeah, sometimes we forget.
And you know what? It's just nice to get together. And I saw some people say in the comments, like, it's nice to know that you're not alone, that we all have these very similar challenges.
Yeah. And I think that we're hoping with the Business Blabs on thank God it's Friday to kind of do that, create that space for people in business to just talk with each other about what's working and what's not. It's some great people drop in today too. So thank you, my sweet.
Okay, bye guys.
Talk to you later. Bye. Okay.
And I don't have a takeaway because I didn't listen to all of your sage advice.
You weren't here for very long, I know. Yeah, so it could be your own takeaway. Bye-bye. So says the Thai guy says bye-bye. Everyone's, we had, Jenny was on, by the way, just so Jenny from Ireland was on with us. She came on.
Oh, Jenny Brennan. Good stuff.
She still is.
She's dodging me all day. She's got work to do, and I think she's been avoiding me.
Was that who she was talking about?
Oh, was she talking about someone?
No. See, I knew I would get you as soon as I said that. She said she's not dodging you. So was anybody setting up their own blab out there that we want to pass the link on to? I'm hoping.
Doesn't look like anybody wants. That's okay. You gave them a shot.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to do.
That's a great
maybe
idea.
Maybe at the 10-minute mark, try to remember. I never remember to do it.
Yeah. No, and I've seen that on other blabs, and I've actually gone on to the next one as well, here and there. But it's we're still all getting used to the new technology and what it can do.
And really, shouldn't we be getting back to work? It is Friday. This is the last time to get anything done before the weekend. And I've got these two presentations.
It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Yes. And there was one thing. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I'll ask you offline. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Viveka, thanks so much for playing in. Everybody that joined us. Patrick, it was great to see you. Sean, as always, my friend, thanks for coming in. Take good care. Rock it out Friday. Okay, and with that, it's a wrap. Happy weekend, everybody. Away I go. Thanks for all the props. I was going to wait and see if I could get to 1,000. I don't know what that is. That's like comparing or something, isn't it? Viveka, let's talk. Bye. Oh, thanks, you guys. Oh no, my screen is frozen. My screen is frozen. Okay. I do.